before we start, I would like to introduce myself and some points of my career. I've been using Liveview in production 2 years around. And one of the things that I came across was two things. And the most important things about Liveview, I shared with all of you guys in those meetups. So if you check the Curious Me, you'll see a topic related to live view steps to learn. And what I noticed is that when you think in a tiny page and tiny components, you will have a easier application. You're going to have an amazing tools to easier build live view pages, easier to build live view components, and also it's going to provide from you and for you and to your team a way to maintain your application and bring more reliability. So also in this meetup, one of the things that I would like to share with all of you guys is TDD and how simpler is that. So I have a question before we start. So I would like to see if you guys have used uh, TDD with live view, not with API, context, or Phoenix pages, but with live view. So Adolfo said no, but I'd like to hear from you guys. So, okay, but I hope of this meeting, you guys try the techniques that I've been using, which is so amazing. And I will give you all the tools that's more than necessary to start using that. Okay, so let's start. And first of one of the things that I would like to share is that we are going to use TDD live view without opening the browser. And it's possible using some techniques. Our last step, when we finish up our page or some or amazing feature or some things that's really important, our latest step is we are going to open our browser. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope you guys presentation. Um, Simon, I think I have a question. How can I share my screen here? Also, yeah, Adolfo is sharing some contents with us about our 10 years of Elixir, which is really nice. I strongly recommend you watch that. But I have a question. I
Yeah,
don't know how
so
to share
on the
my
left
screen.
side, are you using a web version of the app or do you use a desktop version of the app?
The web version.
On the
I
left,
think I found it.
yeah.
Let's check if it's open now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Thank you so much. So those are my YouTube channel. This one is in Portuguese and this one is in English. So it's up to you which one you decide to follow. In Portuguese, I have more contents, but I promise for the next couple of months, I'm going to share more content. But let's start with our application. So I am, most of the time, I'm 100% hands-on. And I just want to share my techniques. You can watch this tutorial again, this video on Curiosum. And I strongly recommend if you have the opportunity now to follow those steps. What I did was just create a new Phoenix application using this, like mixphx.neo liveview underscore TDD dash dash binary dash ID. That's all that we need. And also let's execute commands to setting up our database. And I will give you some information that is really nice to start using those techniques. First of all those tools, I'm going to give you all the ways to find that. So you can search for Elixir Fast Watch. This is all that we need. So basically, I'm going to give you, you can check this link later if you want, but we only need this tool. So what I'm going to do is just copy the dependency. So I think that most all of you guys has experience installing the dependencies. Mixsteps.get, that's all that we need. Now, what we're going to do, we have a Phoenix application, a Liveview application, and we have the new version. We have like a controllers. We're not going to use the controllers. I'm going to get rid of this. Also, I'm going to get rid of my page controller and my view. Okay, so now we're going to keep focus on live view. And before we start our live view, what we are going to do is we're going to executing our tests. Mix test, this is when we execute this step when we are talking about only test, but to use TDD, the test watch is really nice tool because when we need to, when we save a file, we don't need to execute the step again, and again. It's more about it's going to detect changes, and when they find changes, it's going to rerun our application automatically. So this is all that we need. Okay. So first of all, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I think I have a better way to start this. Maybe we can use mixtest.watch and we can start checking our test folder. And then we can go to live view tdd underscore web / live. That's all that we need because we're going to create our live view stuffs. And to create that, this is it's going to show to us an error because the folder does not exist. We are not going to start creating our code, but we are going to start always creating our tasks. So this is our first error. We don't have the folder called live view. Let's create that. As you can see, I just execute test.watch. Now I've got the folder, and now I need to create my page to test. So I'm going to create. This is so powerful example that we have using counter count and sum numbers, and we're going to use the same example here, but using TDD. Count underscore live underscore test.exs. So this is what we need. So as you can see, it's start red, now it's green. Now what we're gonna do is creating our test. So our first step is to create our first module. So we're going to start with live view ttd web dot count live. This is going to be our module. Test. This is all that we need. Also, we need to use tools to provide a way to execute tests. And to do that, we can use import. I think it's use import case. I think that's it. I think this is what is necessary. Probably. Let me check one of the tasks. We can go to connection case. And yes, now load main elements in our screen. So I think I just have, how many times do I have, Simon?
How many minutes?
Because I'm going to try to make this guy faster, okay? So our first step, most of our time when you are creating a pages using live view, you will see that most of your tasks will be load elements and handle events. I would say that's like 90%. I mean, handle infos will be most of your time, like 7%, I think, maybe 5%. And you're going to test hooks and JS. I think this will be like 7% and this guy 3%. most of your time, keep focus on this. When you test your behavior, it's going to be much more easier to test your handle infos and hooks. Okay. I'm not going to have, I don't have a lot of times, but my tips is that. So our next step, we're going to get our page. So we're going to use like Phoenix live view test to use some things like live. We're going to pass our connection. This connection comes from our connection here. And we're going to say our main page. This is going to return for us OK, view, and HTML. I strongly recommend you not to use this guy to test because this is not so consistent and also don't have a reliability. So now we're going to create our first test checking if we have the main elements. We're going to check if we have an element called Curiosum hello. This is an CSS ID, and we will say hello, Curiosum. So this is everything that we need. And now we're gonna open our browser. We're not gonna use tools to use. We're not gonna open our browser. We are just going to use this way. So it's complaining because it's not loaded. Okay, it's because our connection case comes from this guy. Let's check that. As you can see, we don't have our live. What's going to happen now is because we're going to use live. Our file will be this guy over here. And now let's check what's going to happen. So as you can see, our page, our module does not exist. Let's create that live. I would say I would like to create. I like creating like each live view page. I like to include in a specific folder. So count live .ex. So as you can see, I can use now like copy and paste. So now we are going to use live view page. I don't have time to explain about live view and live view module. And now I'm going to create HTML. And then I'm going to have an H1. Let's check what we need to do to make our test passing. As you can see, it's trying to find this element. So let's create that. And we're going to have this ID with this information. And if everything is working now, as you can see, I didn't open my browser. Who opened the browser for us was our test, because when we have mixed test.watch and open browser, it's a really powerful tool to create your tests. So that's my recommendations to use test. But this was our first step. Simon, how many times do I have?
I think you can have like around half an hour or so. Is it gonna be okay, or do you feel like you need more?
I think I only need 10 minutes more if you guys don't think about it.
No problem.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you could see, I didn't open my browser. As I mentioned to you guys, most of your time, you are going to spend testing the elements that you need to load, like this one, and your handle events. So let's start thinking that we only need to load this information. And now our next task, I can just copy and paste, but we can say when click ink should increment a value. So what we are going to have, it's like two informations. First, I need to check if I have something like our number, and we need to click in an event, check if it's going to be incremented. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we can have like check if the elements is loaded, view, and I'm going to say a button called with an ID, ink. Their test is going to be ink. I think it's all that we need. Also, I'm going to check if we have an ID called count. And we're going to say count. I think this is enough for now. And we can say count value. It's going to be 0. And we're going to load those informations in our screen. Okay, so let's take a look what's happened. So also, as you can see, everything is failing. So let's create those elements in our screen. So what I'm gonna do is that I have those the screen, and I'm going to say that I have a div. In this div, the ID will be count. And we're going to have, we can say count ink, it's much better. And let's check if we have this button as we expect. So we're gonna have our ID count ink. The text will be ink. As you can see, now what is failing, it's still failing because I didn't save, sorry, my bad. As you can see, now we don't have our count value. I'm going to say that we have a span with a count value, and we're going to say that the value is 0. As you can see, our test is working. And now what we're going to do is just a way to prepare this screen to start having events. Give me a second. So now what we're going to do is preparing a way to click. So what we are going to do is just like view. Let's find for the element. And our element is this guy. And we have our test. It's okay because we can bring more reliability to our test. Render click. And after we click, what we're going to see, it's a new value, number 1. And also, I want to see if it's okay, if we have the same result with our browser. As we can see, we don't have the phx click attribute. So we're going to include our event. As you can see as well, when we are using TDD, what TDD with Liveview provides to us, what is the benefits? First, your page is born tested. Second, Liveview will help you to build your page. I'm sorry, Phoenix and Elixir and Liveview tools will provide to you and help you when you are testing tips to create your application. So, which is really nice way as well. So now, as you can see, we're going to click on this button, and we're going to say that our event is called ink. As you can see, it's giving us a tip, like you need to click on handle event. So what we're going to do is just create our handle event. Ink. Params for us doesn't matter. And we're going to use the no reply. If I have a time for the next time, maybe I can talk with Simon to explain when to use no reply and reply. But also, when we do it, what's going to happen is that our count value is not updated. What we are going to do here is that we're going to use the mount. The first is param, second session, and our socket. And we're going to say, OK, assign socket value 0. We're going to move to our screen, our HTML, and we're going to have at value. So as you could see, now our test is still broken because we didn't update our value. And to do that, what we are going to do is just a way to get our value. Or maybe we can do something like update socket value, which is going to be our value plus 1. If our test is passing, as you could see, we have the value updated, we have our elements loaded, and we have our increment button. And also, I still didn't start my application. I have our tests, and I still didn't test my application. I just executed the test. Now let's check if it's true. As you can see, let's check our local host and our event. It's working. As I would like to have more time, but what I mentioned to you guys is just a way to build a reliable application using the Liveview using TDD. So I would like to hear from you. I think now we have a time. I would like to hear from you about this technique that I used here. I think I finished. Thank you, Chris.
Right, so this is it when it comes to a presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have like, if you wanted to share something extra, feel free. I think we still have some minutes. But first of all, thank you very much for this great example. It's really cool, really cool.
Thank you.
If yeah, if you have any questions, then I'll just go straight to Q&A, unless you want to add something, Gustavo.
Okay, I just want to share. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to share how to move this page to a component. But for the next time, maybe if you go to my YouTube channel, my latest video was about using TDD and Liveview. Also, you can see how to split pages to a component. Pages and components in Liveview, what I came across is that they must be tiny and must be simple. If your page in Liveview component is not simple, you got a problem. That's my thoughts. What about my career for this 2 years using Liveview?
So it's already 2 years. Nice. That's a lot. Okay, so I'm going to open Q&A. Guys, okay. If you have any questions for Gustavo. Did I hear it right? Gustavo, you said you're going to visit us again as a speaker.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
In these 2 years, did you face any, like a really big Liveview application that you feel like should not have been based on Liveview because there were too many requests being sent to the server, and these should not be fired to the server, but it should be handled more like a React way? So it's all done in the browser, no message passing just a question from me.
Okay, thank you for asking. So, unfortunately, I don't have experience with React to say, hey, don't use React. But I'm suspect because I love Elixir and love Liveview. So, but in this meantime, 2 years, I didn't see the core not to use Liveview. Liveview, most of the time that I've been using, all the functionality that I needed, I had. So I like it a lot.
Right? Very easy question for you, Gustavo.
What is the link to Gustavo YouTube channel? Can I share here?
Yeah, sure, of course. You can share a screen.
Okay. Let me,
Yeah,
Leonard, I'm gonna.
I'll just paste the link on the chat.
Okay. I'm going to post this YouTube this video explaining about the TDD. And also the same presentation that I gave to all of you guys, it's going to be in our Curiosum YouTube channel. I strongly recommend. Also for the, I'm going to have an event on my YouTube channel. Probably you are more than invited, Simon. So what's ELXPRO? How far does it go? So yeah, the ELXPRO main focus is of the ELXPRO is sharing my experience with Elixir and make the help developers to move faster with Elixir, because we have a good community, but I feel that I can contribute with my experience with problems that I've been solving to help the community to move faster with Elixir. In your previous project, did you have security issues with Liveview? I don't. What kind of issues could you explain a little bit more for me? Is it possible to do TDD with Phoenix without a Liveview? Yes, totally possible. It's possible you use TDD with GraphQL, Phoenix, Liveview, and Phoenix using REST APIs. Every socket is secure. I don't know. I think so, because we are using cross. You can make this your socket available for everyone, but when you use cross, I think you don't have problem with security. But that's my thoughts. I would recommend you to start an Elixir application and check this. Let me send to you in our chat.
Okay, so maybe the final question. Someone is writing something?
Yes.
Okay, I will explain why I asked this question, because whenever you try to change something in Liveview, you have to have this communication being done from a client to the server. And even if these things are not fetching anything from the backend, it may be a simple change like counter. In React, you would just do it on the client. So with JavaScript, using your computing power from the computer, etc. There is no communication with the server in this case. In Liveview, there is. I know that this is a very, very tiny message being sent to the server, but I was just wondering if these kind of applications where you don't actually do any complex stuff on the backend side, but rather just have like a small changes on the front end with, I don't know, counter or something, when this kind of application will hit the scale, I don't know, million users, is there any possibility that these kind of small things are too much to handle? That's basically the background of my question I asked you. So I'm just curious if someone had this kind of opportunity to test this, to test Liveview in a scale. Yeah.
I do. There was an application that I have a backend using GraphQL, and the GraphQL sent thousands of responses to other application using Elixir. Of course, it was processing a lot of message with Kafka and the other stuffs, and stored those informations into the database, like almost 1 million in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Most of the time was 8 minutes. And also, I need to report those informations to the front end using the Liveview and Elasticsearch. What was the problem? When we were thinking about real time in one page, our main problem was the browser does not support a lot of messages very fast. I mean, like it will be like 1,000 messages in a second. So our main problem is our eyes can't see that. The browser does not support that. So I would say, even if it was React, I think there's no reason to use this kind of application. But I mean, real-time application like chatting, broadcast, I think it's totally possible with Liveview, but not like I need to check a list of information from a report in a real time, and a lot of informations, like thousands of informations at the same time. So Liveview handles with this so good. That was my experience, but your computer in your browser could not support that. Did I explain it?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. So 2 last questions. Sorry, we have to hurry up, so it's gonna be 2 more. First one.
As I mentioned to you, I've been using Liveview in all of my apps, but I don't know how to. I could say, Fabian, that I'm not the right person to ask, because I'm gonna say use Liveview for everything.
You're a fanboy.
Yes, a lot. What kind of application can we use a Liveview in front end? Real time, especially. So it's so easier to build a real time application. So I have some examples that I need to process some stuff using the OBAN, and all the browsers needs to send the same information in a real time. It's so easier to build that. So real time applications, I strongly recommend. We have another questions about testing JS. Most of the time, if you want to test your JS, it's okay. But I mean, most of your time when you use the JS, you're going to use hooks. And Liveview covers, like, as I mentioned to you, 90%. So it will be like 2%, and it's much more easier to test. You can use hooks and events to test. It's so simple, but I can share with you guys later.
Okay, I'll have to stop here. So Gustavo, if you just can stay with us a little bit longer to answer these last 2 questions on the chat, and I will just introduce Adolfo right now.
Okay.
And thank you very much for this presentation. As we can see, it's great. A small tip that we all can use to develop Phoenix Liveview application very fast in a TDD way. So thank you very much. And I see you on your 3rd presentation at Curiosum Meetup.